weavers and agricultural labourers burdened by the realisation of the present fear of the future of England, having experienced living in the labour problems after the Napoleonic War. A warning of the extremism to come occurred on 22nd December 1829, when a group of men, maybe 12 in total, covered their faces in black cloths and handkerchiefs. The men burst into a home and workshop in St Augustine's, Norwich, the owner William Springall. The men threatened to shoot William if he resisted, which he did, and was shot in the stomach while trying to protect his wife and children. The men cut cloth from 7 looms and fleeing, leaving William in a pool of blood bleeding badly. A surgeon was unable to remove the bullet. The Home Secretary authorised a reward of $100 for the capture of the gunman. In January 1830, weavers declared they were prepared to die in the streets. Agricultural labourers were in an open revolt. They used protest meetings and stack burning to show their anger of poverty. On the 12th of January 1830, Henry Willett, a cloth manufacturer, was in Tombland, Norwich, and was surrounded by a mob of people. A passing magistrate went to aid him and was hit by stones. The magistrate grabbed the stone thrower, and Henry took them both into the cathedral close and slammed the gates closed. The 2 men were arrested and were read the Riot Act. Henry escaped unhurt, and the stone thrower John Burroughs admitted his crime and was sentenced to 3 months in prison that same day. A concerted attack upon a workhouse where the new looms were delivered. A strong mob of 3,000 people invaded the building, and order was slowly restored when a troop of dragoons arrived on the scene. Cloth manufacturer John Wright, in a poorly lit street nearing his home between 9 p.m. and 10 p.m. in the evening, he was confronted by a shadow holding a bottle. Then all of a sudden he was in blinding pain. Sulfuric acid had been thrown in his face. He, as in shock and severe agony, he tried to pursue the attacker. He pulled out his pistol and, firing a shot wildly, he then collapsed and crawled to a nearby house, hoping for some help. It was reported by the papers he had lost sight in both his eyes, and a reward for 100 toland for anyone with any information leading to the capture of the attacker. Several people were arrested and released for the attack on Wright. Richard Knockholds, a weaver married with 5 children, and he was becoming a leading weaver activist. Police knew of him, and he would eventually answer for the attacks upon William Springall and John Wright and others. In August 1830, a general election would happen, and John Morse, a bricklayer with his wife and 2 children, attended a meeting in the marketplace. He was struck by a stone during it and died 6 days later. An inquest began for the murder. The attacker is never found. On 23rd of December, Sir Thomas Hare out a night watch on his land. His watchman challenged men that came on his land. Shots fired would kill James Weston, and 7 other men would also be arrested in time and charged with the murder. But none were convicted, but firearm and poaching offences gave different sentences to each man. Another incident. Charles Green travelled to Norwich from his home to Byarm. He was walking around at 9:30 p.m. with his pony and cart, and men suddenly attacked him, throwing stones at him. He was knocked out and fell to the ground. They then poured acid into his ear. They stole the yarn, took his cart and pony. 2 brothers, Hardy and John Shepherd, were both arrested for the acid attack on Charles Green.